Welcome to my channel. Old Coins News Today videos is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the world of coins, so let's get it started. The United States of America $1 dime, 1966 Roosevelt dime, is an iconic piece of modern American coinage that bridges the gap between two important eras in the nation's numismatic and economic history, the end of the silver standard and the beginning of the copper-nickel-clad coinage era. Bearing the familiar inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, Liberty, and In God We Trust, the 1966 dime stands as a lasting symbol of American ideals, unity, faith, freedom, and national pride. Though small in size and modest in face value, this coin represents a monumental shift in U.S. minting history and the broader social and economic context of 1960s America. Its design, artistry, and meaning have made it an enduring part of everyday American life for nearly 6 decades. The obverse front of the 1966 dime features the left-facing portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who served from 1933 to 1945. Designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, this portrait was first introduced in 1946, 1 year after Roosevelt's death, as a tribute to his leadership and his association with the March of Dimes Foundation, an organization that played a vital role in combating the polio epidemic. Sinek's portrayal captures Roosevelt's determined and thoughtful expression, symbolizing resilience, leadership, and hope during some of America's darkest times. The word liberty is boldly engraved along the left edge of the coin, with the motto In God We Trust positioned just below Roosevelt's chin, signifying the country's enduring spiritual and moral foundation. The date 1966 is located at the lower right, with Sinek's initials JS subtly engraved at the base of Roosevelt's neck. The design is dignified yet simple, encapsulating Roosevelt's legacy and the post-war optimism that defined mid-20th century America. On the reverse, back, side of the coin, the central image is a torch, symbolizing liberty and enlightenment, values that lie at the heart of the American identity. Flanking the torch are 2 branches, an olive branch on the left, representing peace, and an oak branch on the right, representing strength and independence. Together, they convey a balance between peace and power, a philosophy central to the nation's global role in the decades following World War II. Across the middle of the design runs a Latin motto E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many, one, reflecting the unity of the diverse states and peoples that make up the United States. Encircling the reverse are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and $1 dime at the bottom. This layout is clean and balanced, combining aesthetic simplicity with profound symbolism, hallmarks of American coin design. The 1966 Roosevelt dime holds particular historical significance because it was produced during a crucial transition period in U.S. coinage. Before 1965, dimes were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, but rising silver prices in the early 1960s led to widespread hoarding and coin shortages. In response, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from the dime and quarter, introducing instead a clad composition consisting of a pure copper core sandwiched between 2 outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel. The 1966 dime, therefore, was one of the first non-silver dimes to circulate widely under this new system. Its physical specifications reflect this new composition: a weight of 2.268 grams, a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, and a reeded edge featuring 118 reeds. When examined from the side, the reddish color of the copper core can be seen between the silvery outer layers, a distinguishing feature of post-1965 U.S. coinage. Another unique aspect of the 1966 dime's history lies in its lack of a mint mark. During the years 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all coins to discourage the hoarding and speculative collecting that had contributed to the coin shortage crisis of the mid-1960s. As a result, there are no mint-marked 1966 dimes, all are essentially anonymous in origin, whether struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. This makes the 1966 issue somewhat unusual in the Roosevelt dime series, as mint marks returned in 1968. The Mint also suspended proof set and mint set production for collectors during these years, replacing them with special mint sets SMS, which were struck with higher than normal quality for collectors. These 1966 SMS dimes, with their smoother surfaces and sharper details, are particularly sought after today by numismatists and can be distinguished by their satin-like finish and slightly reflective fields. In total, the U.S. Mint produced a massive 1,382,734,540 dimes dated 1966, a reflection of both the coin shortage crisis and the booming U.S. economy of the era. Because of this enormous mintage, the 1966 dime remains extremely common in circulation today. Most circulated examples hold only their face value, but coins in uncirculated, mint state, condition, especially those from special mint sets or with flawless luster and minimal marks, are valued by collectors. High-grade examples graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can sell for a few dollars, while the SMS versions in SP67 to SP69 grades command high premiums. Beyond its technical and monetary characteristics, the 1966 Roosevelt dime embodies a deeper historical and cultural significance. The year 1966 was a turbulent and transformative period in the United States. The Vietnam War was intensifying, the civil rights movement continued to challenge segregation and injustice, and the nation was navigating the social revolutions of the 1960s. In this context, the dime, with its message of unity, e pluribus unum, liberty and faith, in God we trust, serve as a small but powerful daily reminder of the country's enduring principles amid change and conflict. At the same time, the removal of silver from coinage symbolized a shift toward modern economic realism, as the government adapted to a new monetary environment in which the intrinsic metal value of coins no longer matched their face value. From a numismatic standpoint, the 1966 dime is not considered rare, but it is historically significant. It marks the second year of America's modern-clad era, a transformation that forever changed the composition and appearance of circulating coins. The Roosevelt design itself has endured largely unchanged for nearly 80 years, making it one of the most stable and recognizable designs in U.S. numismatic history. Collectors often include the 1966 dime in their sets not for its rarity, but for its symbolic importance as a milestone in American coinage. The United States of America 1 dime, 1981D Roosevelt dime stands as a proud continuation of one of America's most enduring coin designs, representing the nation's values, artistry, and mid-20th century history. Minted in Denver, Colorado in the year 1981, this coin bears the familiar and deeply symbolic inscriptions, United States of America, e pluribus unum, liberty, and in God we trust. Each of these inscriptions reflects a core aspect of American identity, liberty, faith, unity, and national pride. The letter D, located just above the date on the obverse side, identifies the coin's origin of the Denver Mint, which has been producing U.S. coins since 1906 and is known for its high-quality minting standards. Though it may appear as an ordinary piece of circulating coinage, the 1981D Roosevelt dime carries within its design a long legacy of American history and the enduring spirit of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, after whom the series is named. The obverse front of the 1981D dime features the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. The portrait was created by John R. Sinek, who was a chief engraver of the U.S. Mint when the design debuted in 1946, shortly after Roosevelt's death. Sinek's portrait captures Roosevelt's determined yet calm expression, symbolizing his leadership during two of America's greatest crises, the Great Depression and World War II. Along the left rim of the coin appears the word liberty, a word that stands at the heart of the nation's founding ideals. Just below Roosevelt's chin is a national motto, "In God We Trust," a reflection of the spiritual faith that underpins American public life. To the right, near the truncation of the neck, is the date 1981, with a small D mint mark just above it. The designer's initials JS are engraved subtly at the base of the neck. The entire design is finely balanced, showing careful craftsmanship that has allowed this portrait to endure virtually unchanged for decades, making it instantly recognizable to generations of Americans. Turning to the reverse back of the coin, the symbolism deepens. At its center stands a torch, its flame rising tall, a symbol of liberty and enlightenment. Flanking the torch are two branches. On the left, an olive branch, representing peace, and on the right, an oak branch, representing strength and independence. These elements together express the harmony between peace and power that forms the essence of American democracy. Running horizontally across the middle, between the torch and the branches, is a Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This phrase captures the unity of the United States, a federation of states and peoples forming one nation. Encircling this powerful imagery are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and one dime at the bottom, identifying both the issuing nation and the denomination. This reverse design, unchanged since its introduction in 1946, is admired for its elegant simplicity and deep symbolism, combining art and meaning in a compact form. The composition of the 1981 D Roosevelt dime reflects the technological and economic shifts in U.S. coinage during the latter half of the 20th century. In 1965, following a rise in silver prices, the United States Mint discontinued the use of silver in circulating dimes. The new coins were struck with a clad composition, featuring a pure copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel. The total weight of the coin is 2.268 grams, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a reeded edge containing 118 reeds. The combination of nickel and copper give the coin its characteristic silvery appearance and durability, while a visible copper layer on the edge distinguishes modern dimes from their pre-1965 silver counterparts. This composition proved highly successful, ensuring cost-effective production and excellent wear resistance for decades of circulation. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced an impressive 676,650,000 dimes in 1981, making the 1981 D Roosevelt dime a common circulation coin. This large production run was part of the U.S. Mint's efforts to meet national demand for coinage during a time of expanding commerce and economic recovery following the 1970s inflationary period. While most examples remain of low numismatic value in circulated grades, uncirculated coins, especially those that retain their full original luster, sharp strike, and minimal marks, are sought after by collectors building complete Roosevelt dime date and mint mark sets. Coins graded MS65, mint state, and higher can carry a modest premium, and those with full bands, FB, meaning the horizontal lines across the torch on the reverse are fully separated and distinct, are especially prized. These full bands coins demonstrate exceptional die quality and striking pressure, and they are often preserved in mint sets or collector rolls rather than found in general circulation. The historical context of 1981 gives additional meaning to this dime. It was the first year of Ronald Reagan's presidency, marking a shift in American politics and economics toward conservatism and free market principles. Meanwhile, the United States was continuing to assert itself as a global power during the final phase of the Cold War. At the same time, Roosevelt's legacy still loomed large. His image on the dime served as a reminder of the social programs, economic reforms, and wartime leadership that shaped modern America. The year 1981 also came amid technological advancements at the U.S. Mint, as coin production became increasingly automated and consistent, improving die quality and reducing striking errors. Even so, minor varieties such as slight doubling of the date or mint mark occasionally occur, adding a layer of intrigue for collectors who seek out error coins. From a numismatic perspective, the 1981 D dime holds more than just face value when viewed as part of the long Roosevelt dime series. Collectors appreciate its enduring design and its place in the lineage of American coinage, which bridges the silver and clad eras. Its design has changed little since 1946, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Although it is not rare, the 1981 D dime plays a crucial role in completing any comprehensive Roosevelt dime collection, particularly for those focusing on high-grade examples or coins from each mint location, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. In proof form, the 1981 S dime from San Francisco was struck with mirrored fields and frosted devices for collectors, contrasting with a business strike 1981 D version intended for everyday circulation. The United States of America 1 dime, 1969 D Roosevelt dime, is a fascinating piece of modern American coinage, embodying decades of national history, symbolism, and evolving minting technology. This coin, minted in Denver in 1969, bears the famous inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, liberty, and in God we trust, each representing core values of the American Republic. The D mint mark below the date signifies that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary branches of the United States Mint responsible for producing circulating coinage for the western part of the country. The 1969 D dime is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who had passed away in 1945. His image replaced that of the Mercury head designed by Adolph A. Weinman, symbolizing both Roosevelt's enduring legacy and his association with the March of Dimes, a campaign he inspired to fight polio, the disease he personally battled. The obverse front of the 1969 D dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. Around Roosevelt's head are the inscriptions "Liberty" along the left rim and "In God We Trust" positioned horizontally below his chin, symbolizing both national ideals and religious faith. The date 1969 appears at the lower right, beside Roosevelt's neck, and just above it is a small D mint mark, denoting the Denver Mint. The designer's initials JS are engraved near the base of Roosevelt's neck truncation. The overall portrait captures Roosevelt's thoughtful and determined expression, representing his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. This coin's design remains remarkably consistent across decades, with only minor adjustments made to improve striking clarity and relief. On the reverse side, the design centers on a torch, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right. This imagery represents peace, strength, and freedom, values central to the American spirit. The motto E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one, runs horizontally across the middle, reflecting the unity of the diverse states into one nation. Surrounding the image are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and one dime at the bottom, clearly denoting both the issuing country and the denomination. The design is clean, balanced, and deeply symbolic, representing America's ideals in a small yet meaningful piece of art. Despite its modest value of 10 cents, the Roosevelt dime carries with a legacy of historical depth and artistic craftsmanship. By 1969, the composition of U.S. dimes had changed from a traditional 90% silver and 10% copper alloy, used from 1946 to 1964, to a clad composition due to the Coinage Act of 1965. The new clad coins featured a copper-nickel outer layer bonded to a pure copper core, resulting in a total composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer surfaces. The total weight of the dime is 2.268 grams, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a reeded edge containing 118 reeds. This change was part of a national economic adjustment when rising silver prices made it impractical for the U.S. Mint to continue producing silver circulation coins. The 1969 D dime thus represents a continuation of the modern non-silver coinage era that began in 1965 and continues to the present day. The copper core is visible as a faint reddish hue along the coin's edge when examined closely. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced a significant number of dimes in 1969, approximately 563,323,870 pieces, reflecting the high demand for circulating coinage during the late 1960s. Because of this large mintage, most 1969 D dimes remain common in circulation and carry minimal numismatic premium in average worn condition. However, uncirculated and proof-like examples can attract collectors, especially those in pristine condition with sharp details and brilliant luster. Coins graded MS-65 mint state or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can be worth several dollars or more, depending on market trends and eye appeal. Any coin exhibiting full torch details on the reverse, referred to as full bands FB, is particularly desirable as it indicates an exceptionally sharp strike. These high-grade examples are often sought by serious Roosevelt dime collectors who assemble complete date and mint mark sets. From a historical standpoint, the year 1969 was a time of significant transformation in the United States. It was a year of the first moon landing, the height of the Vietnam War, and major cultural shifts throughout American society. In this context, the 1969 D Roosevelt dime circulated widely among millions of Americans, becoming a silent witness to a period of innovation, conflict, and change. The coin's enduring presence reminds us of Roosevelt's leadership in times of hardship and of the democratic ideals that define the nation. The coin's imagery, the torch of liberty, the olive branch of peace, and the oak of strength, beautifully encapsulates the American journey through its challenges and triumphs.